So right at the start, you said one of the things you look for is someone who has a USP around the way that they would find and attract people. And then you've said you're looking for someone who you would never have met otherwise. What are some of the, if someone's to answer the question, here's how we do it, and you're like, that straight away is in my bucket of this is a red flag recruiter. What's the common answers that you know are red flags?
It's a good question. One that I've actually had before is, well, I've got 30,000 connections on LinkedIn, so like I'm gonna get you loads of talent, right? And as we know, that means nothing, right? It generally means nothing.
Sure.
So that's probably, I wouldn't say a red flag, but it's kind of like it wouldn't be something that wows me. It wouldn't be something that wows me at all. I think the standard stuff around, obviously we have a good process, we have all of this stuff. I think the bog standard of we've got a great process or whatever. I think on the flip side, if I'm in contact with somebody and, well, let's use LinkedIn, because obviously I'm massively active on it, that's active on LinkedIn, you can see they're doing things very differently. You can see that they're building a brand, and that's all about brand building, right? Is you can see that it's very, very different. That would reassure me, or probably be different. It's outside of the norm. And also probably on the process side of things, having a process that's the same is great, but actually being able to talk me through that process of why you'd have great candidates, or case studies around how you have hired into similar businesses to me, right? And talking around, this is what we did, and here is some facts and stats, right? It's probably trust and brand. That's what you ultimately look for, right? Is how do I trust this person to hire A players into my business? And how do I then know that that's also brand? Brand builds trust and credibility.
Yeah, exactly. We got trained by a guy called Mark Pilkington, who wrote this amazing book called Retail Therapy. And it's all about the history of retail and the future of retail and the pivot to like direct to consumer. And he basically took us through this deck around how brands got built. And brands were built by factories to put trust between factories and consumers. So brands are just trust. That's all they are. Yeah. So, personal brand, what does it really mean is trust.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's like Nike clothing, right? Like they're made probably in the same factories as another brand that we've never heard of, but we would buy Nike if they're side by side, right? It's exactly the same as Volkswagen, Skoda, and Audi, or whatever it is. They're all made in the same factory. They're owned by the same people, but Audi's deemed to be high end because of the brand they've built, right? I've got a Skoda. I love it because it's like it's brand wise, right? Somebody would look at, if I park next to a Q7 or have my,
you look a bit Swedish.
You'd be like, what's going on?
Yeah, I love it. And on brand, right? Was slightly off topic, but maybe this would be something else. Is I've just started running, right? And then you're like, Captain Run. I've got like a real mixture of like Puma, Adidas, Under Armour, Nike. Since watching Air and reading Shoe Dog, I will go to Nike because I'm like, Adidas are now this like big German conglomerate without like really a sort of figurehead who treated everyone the same. And the Shoe Dog story about how they have gone and tried to create this difference and given away a lot of their IP around creating really safe environments for people to work, plus just his incredible story of building Nike. I will now go and buy Nike above those brands.
Yeah.
But where's the Puma documentary? Where's the Puma book?
Yeah, 100. And I've got even one of my trainers is I will only ever buy Brooks trainers, right? Running trainers.
Okay.
And that is purely, I had a knee injury from wearing a different brand. And before that, I had Brooks. Okay. So I now deem Brooks, because they've marketed to me as well, is a brand that doesn't make me get injured, right? So you build that facade, right, and that credibility and everything in your head around a brand to go, well, yeah, I buy Brooks trainers because they don't get me injured. Where it's like, there's probably loads of other trainers in there that won't get me injured.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anyone from Brooks is listening, Scott is available for affiliate programs on LinkedIn.